Good evening and welcome to Odyssey Charter School's first 2020 Town Hall meeting. Thank you for joining us tonight. The topic that we will be focusing on tonight is the redevelopment of Barley Mill Plaza campus by the Pettinaro Group. The agenda for the evening is going to focus on a presentation of the overarching plan and its timeline. And then we will focus on the more immediate timeline, what's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months, and its implications for us here at Odyssey. So hopefully we can engage in a conversation. We have received some questions by email, and we will tee them up during this town hall meeting. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Joe Walcott, our board president, to do the introductions.
Good evening, everybody. Joe Walcott, I'm the board president here at Odyssey. Thanks for everybody for coming out tonight. This is one town hall that I've been looking forward to for a long time. I just really like to extend my appreciation and thanks to Greg Pettinaro and his whole team for being willing to come here tonight and being, collaborating with us and providing a lot of information to not only us, but also our community. It's really well appreciated. And we look forward to continuing to collaborate with them in the future, being open and transparent to our community, and moving forward. It's going to be a great project that we're all looking forward to, and it's really going to transform this campus for the better. So with that, I'd like to introduce Greg Pettinaro, who will introduce his team.
Joe, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. As I said, I'm Greg Pettinaro. I brought along with me tonight Steve Lex, who runs our construction company, JT and Joe from Harvard Environmental, who's going to do all the environmental testing for our demo process and so forth. Tom Adams, who's our property manager, who will sort of ultimately be responsible for the relationship, I guess, between Odyssey and certainly the completed development. Steve will be kind of responsible for the relationship of the property and the construction development. So I just want to give you a quick overview of what we have. This is, Barley Mill Plaza. As you know, we have 15 office buildings up here. We have Odyssey sits up here, Center Road, Lancaster Avenue. Most of the traffic comes in here for Odyssey like this. So this area here is 15 office buildings, about 556,000 square feet. We are going to demo all of these office buildings. The main spine of the road will pretty much stay the same, but all the office buildings are going to go. What we're proposing into the county right now is a mixed-use development. Again, Odyssey is back here. We have a Wegmans store, which is about 100 to 110,000 square feet. We have about 30,000 square feet of retail here, 30 to 35,000 square feet. We have an office building here, an office building here, multifamily building here, and 33 townhouses here. So these townhouses will be for sale. This multifamily, there's 80 units in there. We don't know if they're going to be for sale yet or rental, still thinking about it. And the offices are basically for rent to offices who want to come into the area. Construction-wise, we're going to demo everything first. We're most likely going to build the Wegmans pad, and this retail will be the first thing that we build, because we have to turn over the Wegmans. After that, we're kind of back and forth of doing the multifamily or the offices, and from there, it's really going to depend on what tenants we have, who exactly is going to come. If we get an office tenant, we'll shift over there. If we don't, we'll probably do the multifamily next. This gives you an idea. This is from Odyssey, the lower school, looking out to the Wegmans itself. So this is the back of the building. This right here is the driveway that goes in. We propose a masonry screen wall here. That masonry wall will also work on the other side as you're driving down this road right here. That masonry wall will go right here. So it actually gives a nice visual to put Odyssey Charter School's name on there and some other things. Right now there's kind of a fence there with signs. It looks okay, but not as good as it could look. There's also a big, how tall is that fence, Mike?
Which?
The one behind the screen fence behind Wegmans?
8 foot.
There's an 8-foot high metal fence that goes behind Wegmans itself. And this is going to block all the loading areas. This gives you a quick elevation of what the retail would look like. The retail is on the lower right-hand side. We're thinking probably about 3 restaurants here along 48, and then with individual stuffs mixed in, more services to the area type stuff. Gives you a quick idea of what the multifamily will look like. We're in the process of designing this building right now, so it's kind of what it might look like, but it might change a little bit. That one, I don't know. We got that one in there. This one, all these oranges, these show the walking paths. So part of our development here was to try to figure out a way to integrate into this, to the population, to the communities and so forth. We're connecting to an existing bike path right up here that goes up Route 141. And all these orange lines are new walking paths and bike paths that we're putting in. They even go back into the trees here a little bit. So we're really trying to get everybody, you know, certainly don't want people from us walking into Odyssey or Odyssey walking to us. But when somebody's on site, we want somebody able to walk from, you know, this point here over to the Wegmans, over to get something to eat. Go to your office if you happen to work here. If you live here, if you have kids here, you know, go bring them down to Odyssey. So we really thought that was important to try to get all that together. I'm just going to go back to this. I brought the team here today because we're trying to figure out timing. So how do we interact with Odyssey? The timing on our project is we're probably going to start demos somewhere around mid-March. Get our contract stuff, probably around mid to the end of March we'll start our demo. We're doing some testing now. The Wegmans store right here, we have to have this turned over to Wegmans in April of 21. So this will be a pad site. It won't be finished, and they'll start their building in about April of 2021. And in April of 2022, we're going to turn over this whole area here. So they'll open their door for business in April of 22, and we'll open these for business. All the other buildings will be gone, and we'll be doing grading and work to try to get, you know, ready for this pad to be built or that pad or the next building to be built. And in the short term, we're going to start in mid-March. We're going to do our best to be done demo probably by mid to late August. I think Steve shared a plan that had it maybe in the end of June or July. I always like to give, I'd rather complete early than promise early, but I think that's what we'll be doing. All of our demo is, do you know where we're going to start the demo? Like how we're going to?
Right where Wegmans is.
Okay, so we're going to start
right where Wegmans is. If you go back to
Let
that,
me,
Yep.
I'll just pull it.
you just go back to the previous drawing.
Well, he's got a,
There you go.
okay. So Steve, tell me what I'm looking at.
So basically what we have three phases there.
I'm sorry, real quick. So this is Odyssey right here?
That's
This
Odyssey
is
right
the
there.
48?
Correct.
This is 141?
Yep.
So Wegmans will sit right here now?
Correct. Those two buildings will be the first ones that are come down, and then we're going to the I building, which is in the green. So all of what we call Center 1 will be coming down first.
So all this?
And correct, and then we're going to go over to where the retail is. That way, since that all has to be completed first,
Yep.
we'll get all that demoed first.
So all the demo will probably be done by Amazon.
Yes.
So that's gonna be our plan, is try to get done at the end of summer, try to, we don't wanna be dealing with the traffic of Odyssey, and they don't wanna deal with the traffic of us, so we're gonna try to do everything again to push that to get it done. Harvard Environmental is on staff, they've been out there already doing testings, they can, when somebody asks the question, they can tell you all about exactly what they do, but they put up air monitors and all this kind of stuff, and I'm sure somebody will ask the question. So I would really like just to open up the questions. It's almost the best way to, what exactly are you thinking that we haven't answered and maybe that'll prompt another question. So does anybody have any questions?
Ricardo has.
Yeah, let me start
two
with a couple
questions.
of email questions here.
Okay,
And the first question from a parent that has children in this building, apparently, talks about the asbestos removal process and making sure that particulates and the dust and all those kinds of things that might affect us and our children are dealt with.
Yep.
And you know, so those concerns have been expressed by different people.
Joe or JD, you want to answer those questions?
Yeah, you want me to come up?
Yeah, come on, just to.
Sure. This way. So my name is Joe Jakubowski. I'm project manager with Harvard Environmental. I've been involved with the project along with JT, who's one of our field managers, was involved in the inspection and is also involved in the monitoring. So we were contracted by Pettinaro to come in and survey all the buildings. In our view, we actually look at it as 18 buildings. There are the 15 buildings. The larger building on the right of the screen there is actually two different numbers. So that makes it 16. There's also a small pump house and then the guard shack as well. So we look at it as 18 buildings. We went through each building, used drawings that they had, developed their own drawings, identified materials, took samples of the materials, and then also looked at the condition of the materials. Those samples were taken back to the lab, looked for asbestos content, and then we also assessed the quantities as well. So basically, the materials that we found are considered non-friable, and those are materials that cannot be pulverized